All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read-alouds there will brighten their day.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Behind the Book, where honest reviews spark deeper, more meaningful reading.
I'm Miss Erica, the teacher lady.
Your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. This week, we are talking all about compassion and boundaries because they are connected. Today's Behind the Book resource is a childhood favorite. This is The Giving Tree by 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. First, I encourage you to go check out the Teacher Lady Read Aloud playlist where we do have a read aloud on compassion, Princess Iridescent, and then come back here to dive into this book review, The Giving Tree, and how this book is connected to both compassion as well as boundaries. In this episode, I will be sharing the glows, the things that I love, because there are so many, the grows, what I think could have been a little bit different, who this book is for, and who should add it to their library, and so much more. All in this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. Lastly, the last episode in this week's theme of compassion and boundaries and how they're connected will happen on the Teacher Lady Speaks playlist and will be airing on Friday. It is essentially a lesson plan where I put everything that I know, well, not everything, but a lot of things, and give you the resources and the tools from a well-seasoned educator to help you have more compassionate children who are also able to stand firm in their boundaries. Now that's enough talking. You ready? Let's grow. Summary in my own words. So, The Giving Tree is the story of a boy who ends up making a friendship with a tree. And every time the boy goes to the tree with a complaint, something that they don't like, the tree gives a piece of themselves to the boy in order to help him. Now, that is the short summary, and I am going to get to the meaning and what I believe is a deeper meaning right now. That at some point, enough has to be enough. This boy keeps going back to the tree because the boy just keep coming back. Listen. So he would gather her leaves and make crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches. He would eat her apples. He would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would use her for shade. So it describes all these different ways that the boy is interacting with the tree. But then he gets older. And he ain't no longer interested in the simple things. As he grew older, his demands kind of grew greater. So he goes back to the tree and he says, hey, I need some money. You got some money? And the tree was like, nope. But here goes some apples. You can take them apples and you can go make you some money. Boy, he leaves. He's like, hey, I want a house. Can you give me a house? And she's like, no, but take my branches and go build a house. And it just keeps going. And by the end of the story, the tree ain't even a tree no more. It's a stump. To which this old man sits on the stump because he has been taking those resources the entire time. It is a story of compassion, connection, but giving way past what you're able to, as well as the impact of what happens when you do not have mutual care. The entire time the boy can come and water the tree, can love on the tree, can hug the tree, but the boy only seems to come when he is in need of something. So the tree keeps giving compassion and the boy keeps giving nothing. And then by the end of the story, there's only a stump left because the tree ain't been cared for. Now you done came snatch the baby's leaves and branches. You done took everything, okay? And you haven't invested anything back. And so this is why this week we're talking about compassion and the relation to boundaries, because the overall take-home message should be care for people. Sure, give what you can, but do not give to a point to where you now have nothing else left for yourself. I always say, Help is help until it is to a point to where you are now being harmed. Now it's no longer help. Message. In terms of age group, go young with this book. Who should add this book to their library? Literally everybody. Everybody, stop right now. Go get it. I'm not playing. It is a timeless book. This is a book that I read when I was a child, when I was younger. It is still a classroom staple of mine. And I believe literally any culture, any belief system would benefit and find some sort of value in this simple yet beautiful story. And I believe it is a super valuable resource for this week's topic, which is all about having compassion as well as boundaries, because it very clearly illustrates what happens if you give too much. One, like I've said a million times, the longevity of this book is such a glow that you can have a story from childhood and be able to read it to your daughter and they also love it. The fact that the message is still so relevant and will be relevant 30 years from now is quite special. For two, another glow is the simplicity of the book. The pages, extremely simple and easy to read. Black and white pictures, very straightforward line drawings, the sparse language, which is bare but has so much substance, such a profound message in just a few words. The poetry of the book. I am a poet and I love writing, and she loved the little boy very much. Like, it's everything. Rediscovery. It's almost like every time you read this book, you'll find something else, whether it's in an initial carved in a tree, or the boy getting slightly bigger, or a leaf on the ground. There are so many little like hidden Easter eggs and gems in this story that I never get tired of reading it. Grows. Now, I tell y'all all the time, if I don't have any grows, I don't go looking for them. And that is true for this story. The book does what it's supposed to do. And I love the fact that you might read this book and get a completely different message, because there are so many layers in that I will have to consider for myself as a now official book reviewer. Is, do I not have a grow because it really doesn't have one? Or do I not have a grow because there was a blind spot due to nostalgia? So I always want to be mindful that I am looking at books through the best and clearest of lens. And I will be honest, because I feel so strongly about this book, I don't have much feedback. I believe that's because it's just a solid book, but it could also be due to personal feelings and my relationship with this piece of literature. Either way, still think it's a great book. I said what I said. Go check it out for yourself. So whenever I am using it as a resource with students, we talk about something called pouring from an empty cup. Like, if there is nothing else in you, how do you give? That is a valuable discussion to have. Similarly to the other Read Out Loud we had this week, that book is called Princess Iridescent, and the main character is this beautiful, colorful princess who is trying to help this grumpy old man. And so having the conversation of, at what point should the princess stop and just let him be grumpy? At what point did the tree give too much? At what point could the boy have contributed back to the tree? How could the boy have contributed back to the tree? Do we think that he ever acknowledged that the tree overgave? There are so many different ways to take this conversation, and I recommend you do them all. Start with yourself. Start with the emotions that are brought up for you as the grown-up, because it will help to open up the conversation with the child. But the main things that I go when I'm discussing this book is, if you think of yourself as a bank account or an ATM, and every day somebody withdraws even a little bit of money, doesn't matter if how much, but they withdraw a little bit of money, but then they never put any money in, you will go negative. There will be nothing left. And so the importance of self-care, the importance of having relationships where that person sees you just like you see them, so that you never fully run out, is so crucial. And this is such an easy resource to be able to do that, okay? A lot of adults need this reminder. Currently, I take care of a school, husband, staff, nonprofit organizations, sorority stuff, household chores. There is so much that falls underneath my umbrella of what I am taking care of, that I need to make sure that I am also on my own list, because it is easy to forget. And I am giving you that same assignment today. How are you taking care of yourself so that you don't end up a lonely stump with somebody sitting on you. You see what I did there? Okay, before I let you go, two things. One, the Teacher Lady Speaks airs on Friday. That is where we give the lesson plan on how compassion is connected to boundaries and how to properly go about teaching your child about both. And then lastly, I am going to tell you that I am an author. I'm an illustrator. Yes, you can check out my books. Please do. They're beautiful and magical. But I also started the Pay It Forward initiative called the Empathy Library. And that program allows us to get books free of charge to the students that need them. Either go on to give, go on to receive. Either way, thank you so much for reading with me and for being part of this book-loving community. Until next time, remember to enjoy the moment or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.